Well, hello there, and thank you so much for stopping by this channel, Mr. TraveLux. It's great to see you here. My name is Addison. I'm the founder and CEO of Reliant Destinations, Reliant Pickleball, and a bunch of other travel-related companies, and we're so glad to have you here today. In this video today, we are talking about tipping at Sandals. Yes, we're talking about the things that you're often not told, and most importantly, everything that you want to know when it comes to tipping at any Sandals or Beaches resort. At Reliant Destinations, which is my exclusive Sandals partnered company, we offer 100% complimentary concierge services, allowing you to step into that vacation and go and achieve all of those amazing dreams and get those memories and have someone by your side each step of the way. My team and I at Reliant Destinations can be reached at any time at hello@reliantdestinations.com. We are a Caribbean-based team. At the moment, all of the Reliant Destinations staff are from Jamaica, so we can give you the on-the-ground perspective. Also, myself, I visited every Sandals and Beaches resort many times, and so it's always great to be able to give you authentic perspective. I always try to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear or what maybe our company or even Sandals would want to tell you. We try to always give you the honest perspective, and that's what we will do, not just in this video, but anytime you reach out to us. Before we peel back the curtain further on this topic, I also want to mention that on our website, which is mycaribbeanluxury.com, there's a couple of tools on there, some brand new that you definitely don't want to miss. So first of all, there is what I call a vibe checker tool. It's a little questionnaire, a little quiz, if you will, on the website, which allows you to answer a few questions and get an instant answer as to which of the Sandals or Beaches property best suited for you. So what we recognize is that each of these properties are very different, and one property that is great for one couple may not be perfect for the next. And so definitely use that little checker tool on there to see which of the properties best align with your vibe, your desired vacation style. Speaking of tools, there is a new tool on there, which is the value checker tool. So if you are someone that already booked your Sandals or Beaches vacation, you can use this tool to make sure that you have the best value. Now, we're not trying to poach anyone out there, so if you already have a travel agent, for example, you can still use that tool on there. We're going to point you back to your travel agent, but it does allow you to get a little heads up, an alert if there is better value, some low-hanging fruit available on your vacation. So you could definitely use that tool as well. The last tool is we have a brand new AI called 𝗏𝗏, which has been trained about everything Sandals and Beaches. So we're constantly refining this tool on there where you can 24/7 ask any questions you have about anything Sandals and Beaches and get some direct assistance there around the clock, even when we are closed as a company. So make sure to check out that new tool, 𝗏𝗏. But for now, let's go ahead and dive straight into this video about tipping at Sandals, what you need to know. Let's dive in. Alright, so to start off this video, let's talk about the official rule of tipping. So yes, the official rule at Sandals is that Sandals are tip-free resorts where tipping is already built into your vacation. That would be the simple way to explain it and the way that the marketing describes it, but let's dive in a bit deeper and look at the nuances with this. So yes, I would say that is true in 95% of circumstances, but let's see some instances where that is not true and also answer some of your questions that you would have commonly about tipping at Sandals. So the first thing when it comes to rules, and perhaps the most enforced rule, is that staff cannot solicit tips. They cannot ask for them. So even at some of the exceptions of which we will mention in a minute, people that are allowed to accept tips, these tips, they can never be asked for, and they shouldn't be asked for. It's inappropriate in hospitality anywhere, whether it's North America, Europe, or the Caribbean. So that, of course, if staff members do participate in that of course can lead to disciplinary action. We don't wish that for them, and it's something which I have seen maybe happen only once out of staying hundreds and hundreds of nights across Sandals and Beaches resorts. So that's something just to mention. On the topic of tipping, I also like to mention that Sandals does typically pay their staff higher than other competing brands. So for Sandals, when we look at the other resorts, other hotels in Jamaica, Sandals does pay for most roles significantly better than other properties out there. So that is something I like to just make you aware of, that the idea is tipping is already built into the price. It is built into the compensation packages generally for staff. Of course, the reason for this is trying to allow guests to relax and guests not to feel like they have to have their pocketbook and they're always digging deep at each angle, each moment that they are in the resort at different areas. So the idea is you can put your pocketbook away and truly enjoy and relax on that vacation. That being said, however, there are some exceptions that can apply, so let's go ahead and talk about those. Looking at official statements versus reality, one of the first exceptions would be butlers. So Sandals does have 3 different tiers of category when it comes to a room at Sandals, and this would be the entry tier, luxury, your middle tier, which is Club Sandals, and your pinnacle tier, which is the Butler Elite program. The Butler Elite program is what is going to come with the top suites, and that does come with private butler service. So if you are someone staying in one of those accommodations, it is, yes, ideal, and I hate to use the word expected, but fairly expected that you would tip the butlers, and that can be done at the end of your stay. So typically your butler team is going to be between 2 to 3 different butlers depending on the length of your stay, and they'll rotate on and off shift. In terms of how much to tip, it's a complicated question, honestly, and it's a question which my answer has changed to over the years. For example, my answer might change depending on if you are in one of the cheaper butler accommodations or if, for example, you're staying in an over-the-water bungalow. So what I would typically say in this is I typically budget somewhere between $20 to $30 per day. And then what I do with that is simply at the end of the stay, I look at that, I multiply that by the number of days that there are that I stayed, or nights I should say, and then from there, I simply divide that up using a percentage of approximately how often each butler was on shift. That's typically how I do it. Different people have different ways. There's no right or wrong way, but if you do it the way that I suggested, it will be appreciated. For someone that's staying in overwater bungalows, typically around $50 is a little bit more common, so typically tips are a little bit higher with those upper level accommodations. Okay, Addison, so what about other exceptions? Okay, another exception that would be in resort would be at the spa. And if you are going to Sandals, I say you have to stop by the spa. Even if you're someone that doesn't like to be touched or have a treatment, still go to the spa. The facilities there are complimentary and you can use those. So whether you want to try out the sauna experience, a steam room, or one of the amazing plunge pools available, you definitely want to stop by the spa. The spa, also called Red Lane Spa, which is the official term at Sandals, it's a great experience and there are so many treatments available. If you're going as a couple, my favorite is the Sense of Love Couples Massage. It's a tandem side-by-side massage where you can each have your massage in your style with your ideal pressure. If one person wants a hard sports massage and the other relaxing Swedish, whatever it might be, you can have that. But with these treatments, there is an expectation, just like there would be in North America, for tipping at the conclusion of that. It is something where some of the Red Lane spas will automatically build that into your receipt as a gratuity or service charge is put onto there. Typically, it's quite low, and we recommend people to go a little bit above and beyond that where possible. When tipping your butlers or tipping at the spa, I also like to mention that cash is king. So with credit cards, there can be a delay in them of receiving that, and the resort will take off a small surcharge of that as well, which is simply the cost that it does take them, to process those credit cards that would be used for that. So whenever possible, cash is better. Now you might ask, well, do I need to convert currency? And yes, it is true. There are different currencies in different islands. For example, Jamaican, you have JMD, your Jamaican dollars. Other islands use, for example, Eastern Caribbean currency, so on and so forth. But here's the thing. When it comes to cash, US dollar is still predominant across all these places. So US dollar is appreciated and very common, very used, and you have no need to convert any currency, no matter which island you're going to. So just don't worry about that whatsoever and bring some US dollars with you. Now, some of you might have also heard, so I'll go ahead and address it in this video, that there are some islands like Barbados, for example, that have very stringent legislation in terms of tipping. So for example, at Sandals Barbados and Sandals Royal Barbados, you will find that tipping is a little bit more common because Sandals cannot enforce any tipping related policies there. Now, that being said, we still encourage our guests when possible not to do that, because we try to have an environment not created where there's this this huge disassociation between guests that are tipping and guests that aren't tipping. But that being said, one thing that I recommend on that is if you want to tip at a resort like that, wait to the end of your stay. Just let them be friendly and courteous as normal. And then if there has, for example, been a bartender that's done a really great job for you the whole stay, at the very end, slide them something if you want to. But yes, Barbados, there is a legal difference there compared to the other properties, and with some upcoming properties we might see a little bit more of that, but all in all, still, you do not feel pressure to tip there. And whenever I'm in Barbados, I don't feel like the service that I'm going to get is reliant on whether I am tipping or not. So that's just worth mentioning. Okay, so what about outside of the resorts now? Okay, so one thing that you might need cash for in terms of a tip as soon as you arrive at the airport, not even the resort, would be some baggage handlers. So a great example would be at the MBJ, the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay in Jamaica, which is where most people that are going to be coming into Jamaica will fly into. So at this airport, you'll see that there are red cap porters there. And yes, they have red caps, as the name suggests, and they're the ones that handle the luggage. And when it comes to all the resort brands like Sandals there, which have the big Sandals lounge in the airport, it is pretty much the expectation that these will be used to help shuttle your baggage from the lounge onto your transfer, whether it is a private transfer or a shared shuttle. In these instances, again, a tip is expected. US dollars is perfectly fine, and around $1 US per bag is normal. You'll find these baggage handlers of different sorts at different airports, but I would say at probably about 3/4 of the different airports where Sandals does exist, you'll find some version of this, and about $1 US per bag in cash is an appropriate tip on that. So I do recommend having some ones on you when you land. It just makes things nice and easy. You don't have to worry about that at all. Now, we did mention transfers. So in terms of transfers, I would say that approximately 15 to 20% of people will tip on their shared shuttle transfer going to the resort from the airport. It's something where if you wish to do so, you are allowed to do so. Those are independent contractors and not actual Sandals staff. Also, if you are taking a private transfer and that has been pre-arranged, whether it's because of your room category or whatever reason, if you're taking a private transfer or a taxi, generally a tip is expected on that as well. And that's something where you can tip, again, in US dollars cash. We do get a lot of Canadian clients, and often Canadians are asking us about if Canadian dollars really work on the island. I'm just gonna have to go ahead and say not really. It's not something that's really recognized on the island. So if you do have Canadian dollars, it's best to go ahead and change those out at your airport before you leave for US dollars. I would also say that on these islands, there are plenty of money exchangers at the airports, but the rates are going to be very inflated, and often the rates are almost just abusive. So I don't recommend changing any money on the island at all. So if you do need to change the US dollars for some reason, I recommend doing that before you come. Okay, so what else? Excursions. That would be a great one to also cover. So if you are taking an excursion from the resort out, whether it is with Island Routes or any other excursion partner, it would be very common to tip them as well. And again, can be done in US dollars and cash. The amount, honestly, it varies. Couple of dollars, $5 if they've done a really good job, or if it's a private one, maybe 10 US dollars. That's what we would see, but a small tip, but it is appreciated definitely for tour guides. So if there's anything I didn't cover in this video, you of course can ask the question in the comment section below, and I'm happy to address that directly. I'll just end by saying that Sandals isn't anti-tip. They are pro relaxation and pro stress-free vacation. So that's really what the focus is trying to allow all the guests to just relax in the best way possible, to be able to focus on romance, on togetherness, on the enjoyment of the experience, and not have to worry every moment whether they have a wallet with them or not. So that's what the experience is about. And that's why, of course, there are some of these lax rules that apply in certain categories. But any questions you have, we would love to hear them. As I mentioned before, hello@reliantdestinations.com is how you get in touch. Again, that's hello@reliantdestinations.com. And of course, we do ask you to just take a moment to like this video and subscribe, and of course, share it with any friends that you have. We always do appreciate that. We have a lot of great content coming out very, very soon, and we don't want you to miss that. Again, thanks so much for taking a moment of your time to be here with us today. We hope to see you sometime in resort, and if you ever cross paths with me in resort, don't be shy. Come and say hi. I would love to see you. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you back here next time. Take care.